Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and for this video, I would like to discuss the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer beta, because of course it's a very big deal for us Call of Duty fans, and it's something that I haven't really covered here on the channel as of yet, and there is a lot of news and information regarding that beta, so I would like to cover that here in this video. But before we get into that, the gameplay you guys are watching, some of you have probably seen it before, but this is my first ever game of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. As you guys can tell, I'm playing on the PlayStation 4 here, and the reason why is for some reason there was like a bug or something happened where the game itself went live before it was supposed to, and as a result we basically got early access to be able to play the game. It only worked for like a game or two or something like that until they fixed their mistake. We can no longer access the multiplayer, so it's kind of like I'm playing the Modern Warfare Remastered beta, though of course there was no actual beta for the game itself. And I apologize again for these sporadic videos over the past couple of days. I have been battling the flu. I feel a lot better today, I really do. Now every time I think that, past couple of days I wake up feeling great, and then as the day goes on it gets worse and worse. So hopefully today is not that day. Hopefully today is the day I just kick this flu and get back to my regularly scheduled content, which I like making videos, but it's hard to do when you're sleeping like 17 hours a day because you're just so freaking weak, so terrible. So let's talk about the Call of Duty World War II beta. What do we know about it so far? So number one, it's going to be a private beta that you can only get for pre-ordering Call of Duty World War II on the Xbox One and on the PlayStation 4. It's going to have a minimum of 3 days, so the beta itself is going to be at least 3 days long, and no progress that we have on the beta is going to carry over to the live game. That's essentially all we know right now about the Call of Duty World War II beta, but what can we infer from that? Number one, there's no PC beta here, which is a bit unfortunate, honestly. That's really, really bad if you ask me, because Infinite Warfare did not have a PC beta, although Infinite Warfare basically didn't have a beta at all. The Infinite Warfare beta was more or less a demo. It ran from October 14th until October 18th for the PlayStation 4, and then October 21st to October 24th for the PS4 and the Xbox One. And that was like, what, a couple weeks at most before the actual launch of the game? There was no time for them to really take any of our criticism, any of our feedback, and actually make any major sweeping changes to the game. It really made no sense. The last game that we had a beta before Infinite Warfare was, of course, Black Ops 3, and they held theirs in late August, which was fantastic because it actually allowed us to give them some feedback, and they could actually make changes to the game based off of that feedback. And I think, personally, that Black Ops 3 was a much better game as a result of that beta. That's just my feeling. Of course, some people disagree, but I really do think Black Ops 3 is a great game, and I've had the itch over the past couple of days to go back and play some Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I haven't really touched it since Modern Warfare Remastered / Infinite Warfare came out, so I think it'd be cool to go back there and mess around with that. So I'm worried that they're not going to be messing around with PC whatsoever, because I like it when they do support the PC player base. Like, how is it that Call of Duty is the biggest freaking game in the universe on consoles, but it's microscopic on PC? People don't play it on PC whatsoever. It's not really a big deal. I think part of it is due, and I know I have some PC fans that follow me, so please chime in down there in the comments. I think part of it is due to the fact that the ports are never actually that good. They always have a wide variety of issues. I've heard that Modern Warfare Remastered actually on PC is not very good. Like XCal, who's a fantastic YouTuber. He's more of a live streamer now. I've been watching him forever now. He is ridiculously good. He played Black Ops 3 on PC, made it up to like maximum rank in the game, and just he did everything. He's so freaking good. And he hasn't really touched Modern Warfare Remastered because apparently the port is really that bad. Like, he just isn't touching it whatsoever. And XCal, for those that don't know, was well known for being a beast back in Call of Duty 4. Like, I was really excited to see him play Modern Warfare Remastered, and he did play a bit of it. He did stream a bit and post some videos, but he hasn't really touched it that much because it's a really bad port, apparently. So that's the biggest issue. And I think the second biggest issue is they never really support the PC side of things whatsoever, with the exception of Treyarch. Now, I don't know everything. Again, I only play zombies on PC. It's actually my preferred platform for PC, but when it comes to actual multiplayer, I don't know that much. So again, those of you guys that do play multiplayer, please chime in down there in the comments. But from what I see on Twitter, like looking at PC dev here, apparently right now on Black Ops 3 on a PC, there is a giant event where all the multiplayer DLC is free. It's double XP on all the multiplayer maps that you actually own, and it's double XP on all multiplayer maps if you have the season pass. Like, they're really just supporting their game by adding all these extra things to it, and I think that's really cool. Not to mention mod tools, which are absolutely fantastic. I don't think it's really I'm a bit out of my depth here. I don't know if it's exactly viable, but I think it would be awesome if every Call of Duty game had mod tools or at least mod support, because they are a big deal when it comes to the longevity of the game. Like Black Ops 3 on PC is going to be like the next World at War on PC. If you guys don't know, people have been modding and playing World at War forever now, ever since it came out, because people were able to make multiplayer maps / zombies maps for that game, and it has a big community built up around that. And Black Ops 3 pretty much has the same thing going on right now. Everybody's playing Black Ops 3. In fact, some people tend to think that the remakes that we see on Black Ops 3 that are made via mod tools by the community are actually better than the recreations that we see actually made by Treyarch themselves, because with the mod tools that the community uses, they add in their own special weapons, they actually add pack-a-punch to certain maps that didn't have it previously. They do a lot of really cool and interesting things. So I would really like to see Call of Duty World War II supporting the PC player base a bit more. Again, it makes no freaking sense to me that it's the biggest game in the world on console, yet it's just it's a blip on the radar on PC. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, in my personal opinion, the best way to do the Call of Duty World War II beta would be to hold it in August, like we saw with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which only puts us a couple months away from the beta itself if they decide to go down that route. Now, more information, of course, is going to become available at this year's E3. That's where, of course, the multiplayer is going to be playable. People are going to actually have their hands on the game. We're going to be able to see how good the game actually is. Fingers crossed that something terrible doesn't happen, like they decide to revamp it so much that it's not good, or I don't know, man. I feel so COD World War II, based on what we know, is going to be fantastic. And then I'm worried that the more we learn, it's going to end up being bad. Like, I've been bitten before, right? I remember being excited for Call of Duty Ghosts. I remember being excited for other games in the past and having them not really turn out all that well. So I'm hoping that what we learned about Call of Duty World War II is actually positive. And I'm also hoping that we do end up having a beta. I think there's definitely a debate to be had regarding whether or not betas are actually good. I would say for the most part, betas are actually a very good thing for most people involved, because they tend to benefit everybody involved, right? You have your players that benefit because, of course, we get to play the game early, and that's a pretty big deal. The developers benefit because us players are able to test their game for them and give feedback, and assuming, of course, the beta is not held 2 weeks before the launch of the game, they can actually take that feedback and implement it into their game, and thus the game is actually better as a result of it. And then, of course, Activision benefits because usually to get access to a beta, you have to pre-order, and of course they profit from all the pre-orders. Although I will say, in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, we were actually able to go from a private beta to an open beta for a couple of days. Like, towards the end of the actual beta, they're like, all right, it's open to everybody. Let's get everyone in here. Let's have them test out the game. Let's see what people think. And I think that's a pretty good thing. Hopefully we see something similar in Call of Duty World War II. It has not been announced or anything like that, right? It's called the private beta for a reason. I think it's twofold. Number one, they want to announce that it's not an open beta, but two, private beta, right? It makes sense. They put a little logo next to it. It makes sense within the theme of World War II. But I do hope that it does end up becoming an open beta at some point. We're going to have to see how that plays out. I would say the only downside to a beta is fan burnout and potential disinterest, right? If you play the game before it comes out in an early stage and you see things that are bad about the game, it may turn you off on the game as a whole, and it also may just burn you out, because there's something that's great about the hype of a game that builds up to the actual launch. Then the opening night for like a brand new Call of Duty is like one of the best nights of the year, right? And that opening night isn't nearly as good if you put in 2 days of playtime into the beta a couple of months before, right? It definitely ruins it a little bit, so I can see both sides. I've actually seen quite a number of you that mentioned in the comments that you specifically don't play the beta, or you try to avoid videos that will give spoilers as to what will be in the multiplayer of the next Call of Duty game, because it kind of ruins that first night experience, right? I remember back in the day, like going into Modern Warfare 2 or going into the original Black Ops and knowing nothing going into it, really. And then, you know, you sign in, you're like, wow, the first gun I unlock is the M16. I'm talking about Black Ops here. The M16, I remember this from Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. I love this gun. I remember the first game I played on Black Ops was on the map Villa, and I remember it was team deathmatch. I camped so hard. I was just, you know, I played so passively. I think it went like 13-1 or something like that, and how much fun that was. I ended up getting a care package. I think were care packages by default, maybe Valkyrie. I remember having a Valkyrie rocket, which was a terrible kill streak, and I remember using that, and just, it's so much fun being able to experience the game for the first time as it comes out. But at the same time, there are advantages to actually playing the game before it comes out, and those advantages can actually benefit the game in the long run. So I'd love to hear what you you guys think about that. It's definitely a very interesting topic. But ladies and gentlemen, the Call of Duty World War II private beta, I'm excited for it. Hopefully you guys are as well. And I will keep you guys informed with more information as it becomes available. Although chances are more information will not become available until this year's E3, which at the time of this video going up is going to be pretty much exactly 2 weeks away from now, which is pretty freaking awesome. We are 2 weeks away from learning so much about Call of Duty World War II. For better or worse, we're going to be learning a bunch of stuff, and hopefully all the information is actually good. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the well wishes on Twitter, and thank you for being patient with me over these past couple of days as I continue to fight this flu, just get it out of my system, just hopefully just go back to being healthy. It's like you don't really realize and appreciate how awesome it is being healthy until you are sick, right? It's kind of like when you stub your hand, and you stub your pinky finger, and you don't realize how often you use your pinky finger in your everyday life. Well, it's kind of like that, but multiplied times 1,000, where your entire body is just rejecting everything you try to do or eat, or all you can do is sleep. It's so terrible. But thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.